The entire world was watching. Millions of people staring at the exact same replay. And they all saw the same thing. That was offside. And then FIFA said, it wasn't. Here's the thing, it's not just about one penalty call at the World Cup. It's about what happened after. What FIFA refused to show. What they said behind closed doors. And why millions of fans aren't buying a single word of their explanation. Stay with me, because this one goes deep. 3 days. That's all it took. 3 days into the biggest sporting event on the planet, and FIFA had already managed to light itself on fire in front of the entire world. But on Saturday, they outdid themselves. It was Qatar versus Switzerland. Levi's Stadium, San Francisco Bay Area. Early in the match, a Swiss player named Freuler goes down inside the box. Qatar's goalkeeper clattered him. The referee points to the spot. First penalty of the entire 2026 World Cup. And here's where things get interesting. The replays started rolling. And on every screen, in every living room. In every sports bar across the planet, people saw the same thing. Freuler looked clearly offside before the collision even happened. Like, not even close. Not one of those pixel-perfect freeze-frame debates. This one looked obvious. VAR stepped in. The monitors around the stadium showed the check was happening. Long delay. Then the decision came back onside. Penalty stands. Swiss striker Breel Embolo stepped up. Scored. And now the whole world waited for the line. You know what I'm talking about. The graphic. The calibrated freeze frame that drops 2 colored lines on the pitch, one for the attacker, one for the last defender, and ends every offside argument in about 2 seconds flat. You see it in the Premier League every single week. Clear, simple, instant, that's what everyone was waiting for. It never came. Not on Fox in the United States, not on the British broadcast, not in Spain, not anywhere on earth did the viewing public get to see the evidence that supposedly proved this was the right call. The line never appeared. So here's what happened next, and honestly, you couldn't write this any better. The fans did what fans always do. They absolutely lost it. On X, the verdict was nearly unanimous. German-speaking fans were calling it the biggest wrong call of the tournament so far. Others were already labeling it the first refereeing scandal of the World Cup. Thousands of people staring at the same frames, all arriving at the same conclusion, all completely certain of what they were seeing. And FIFA had the one tool that could prove them wrong and showed them nothing. Then the pundits went off. Gary Neville, live at halftime, did not hold back. He pointed out that FIFA is the host broadcaster, that they have the semi-automatic offside technology in their hands, that they could show it instantly. And they weren't. He said fans already distrust FIFA and the technology, and until they prove otherwise, it's offside in his eyes. And then he reached for the word that became the headline. He called it like a dictatorship, an organization that holds the evidence internally and refuses to show it to the fans of the countries actually playing in the game. Ian Wright was just as blunt. He asked why we hadn't seen the semi-automatic line. He said the player looks offside. And he landed on one word. Scandal. They do what they want, he said. Sitting in their office. But here's where FIFA made everything worse by trying to make it better. About 3 hours after the match, FIFA released a statement. And the explanation? Of all things, a technical glitch. They said a brief technical outage had prevented the onside animation graphic from being generated, that the issue was quickly resolved, that the VAR review itself was never affected, that the lines the officials used showed no offside. They even posted 2 images to back it up. Read that carefully. Because it's extraordinary. FIFA's official position is, the camera that shows you the proof broke, but trust us, The proof exists, and it says we were right. The evidence that could have killed this controversy in the moment it mattered live on the broadcast, while the world was watching, was unavailable precisely when the world needed it, and only surfaced hours later, after the goal was scored, after the result was shaped, after the damage was done. That's not transparency. That's a note from FIFA excusing FIFA. And after the week these people have had, nobody is in the mood to take their word for anything. Because this isn't one bad night in isolation. This is day 3. And look at the pile this VAR mess just landed on top of. Ticket prices that priced out ordinary fans before a ball was even kicked. Empty seats including at this very match where FIFA announced a crowd of nearly 68,000, just shy of capacity, in a stadium that looked about 3/4 full. Explained away with the same line about fans standing in the concourses. A travel ban shutting out supporters from around 40 countries. Players and team staff pulled aside, searched, and held at the border. And then a World Cup referee, FIFA's own selected official, denied entry, sent home before he could officiate a single match. Brick after brick after brick, all in 72 hours, all building the same wall. An organization that asks for your trust while doing everything in its power to lose it. So when that offside line didn't appear on Saturday, here's what nobody at home thought. Nobody thought, oh, harmless technical glitch, these things happen. After 3 days of this, the instinct went in the exact opposite direction. People didn't see a glitch, they saw a cover-up. And whether or not that's fair to FIFA in this specific case is almost beside the point. Because FIFA is the one who spent the entire week teaching the audience to assume the worst. Now let me be fair for a second, because this isn't about fantasy. It is entirely possible the call was correct. It's possible the tech genuinely failed, that the lines really did show Freuler onside, that this was nothing more than rotten timing on a bad day for the graphics team. That can all be true, but that's exactly what makes it a nightmare instead of just a footnote. FIFA had one job in that moment: show the line, end the argument, move on. They couldn't do it. And they had already burned every bit of credibility that would have let people give them the benefit of the doubt. When you've spent 3 days playing the villain, you don't get to suddenly be the trustworthy narrator. Oh, and Qatar? They actually struck late to grab the first point in their World Cup history. A genuinely great story, completely buried under the noise. And that right there is the saddest part of all of this. The football is delivering. The drama, the upsets, the debuts, it's all there. But FIFA keeps stepping on its own tournament. And on Saturday, it did it live, in front of everyone. With the one piece of evidence that could have saved it sitting in an office, out of sight. The line never came. And by now, nobody's surprised. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Honest technical failure, or exactly the kind of trust us that FIFA hasn't earned after a week like this one? Because the football is only 3 days old, and the cracks are already showing. This tournament is supposed to be a celebration. Right now, it's starting to look like a slow-motion collapse. Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one. If you think FIFA owes the world a better explanation than a 3-hour late statement and 2 screenshots, hit the like button. And if you want World Cup coverage that keeps count of everything going wrong, not just the goals, subscribe. We're just getting started.